Hi, and welcome to this video of what's new in On Commander Pro version 4.11 and version 4.12, since the last video was up to version 4.10. So here's the website, oncommanderpro.com. So let's see the last changes here, and then we'll go through. So you see there's a lot of changes, about 19 changes, so I will go quite quickly about them. So let's make it bigger for the video. And we'll start with last month's release, which was, so you see, it was 4.10 was in May, and in 1 month added like about 40 new features in 4.11. So first, let's go with the directory table. So this is directory. So what's happened is when you search for subfiles, you see you can go very deep into the folders, and then you don't see the name of the file. So now if you go into the into the settings, for example, I can go in the panel settings, and then I can decide I don't want to see all the directories in between. So let's say I want to see only the first one and the last one. So now if I search again for everything, you see now I see the first directory and the last one before the file. So here, let's see, this is in the demo and source, and then I can see the whole directory with a tooltip. Another thing is when we do rename, so Control R. So if I do, for example, in this case, let's replace demo with something else. Then you'll see that the files that are replaced are in bold instead of being in, I think it was dark blue, because dark blue doesn't fit that much on black, so in the dark theme. So now with bold you can see which file are changed or not. Also, when you do search, you can do escape, so it will delete, and if you do escape in an empty field, it will also close the field. So double escape most of the time will just close the replace. Then cache. So if you're scanning two same directories at the same time, that can happen, for example, when you start the directory and multiple directories are in the same, in different panels, then it's cached, so it doesn't try to load twice the same directory. Also, a lot of improvements have been done in the loading of, especially of big directories with a lot of files. So not only in showing the icons, but also in parsing the files. So escape to close, we've already seen it. So do not resize. So what was happening is when you were going to another directory with a lot of files, so now it also was resizing the table again, even if it was not needed. So in this case it's not done anymore, so you don't see like a jump in the file. What else? An error in find duplicates is fixed. So something else, now I've added syntax alive for Windows batch commands. So if I open, for example, this batch file, you see that now it has syntax alive. And same thing for Kotlin's and Gradle files that are now also with syntax alive. Also in the text editor, what we had is if you had a small bug that if, for example, the caret was at the end of the file, and you were and when I reopen it, it tries to go, when I reload it, basically it tries to put the cursor at the same position. But if in another text editor you were deleting some text, then basically the cursor would be out of the text, and this was causing an error. So this is also fixed. And also when you, if I go with alt click and go there, then you have also something called, let me check, find files in project. So now it's also improve detecting the root of a project. So now let's go with tree map. So tree map is to show, do I have something like, let's do with something else, plus and a tree map. Okay, error. Let's see if this one works. Trim up, not plus, but let's replace it with a trim up. So okay, so now we have a trim up that says which are the big directories and the file, and basically now it's a bit better in wrapping at the correct position and showing the correct size when you resize it. So these are two replacements. Also the mega toolbar, which is also a different kind of panel. So let's put it, mega toolbar, let's put it in a new window. So it used to have actions that were not there anymore, so you were seeing like empty buttons. So now this is fixed. As you can see, all the buttons are different actions. Some are disabled because I haven't selected any files. So now you see if I've selected files and it's there. Then different new actions. So okay, we don't need this one. So let's put replace panel. Let's put it back to directory table. Okay. So now you have in file stats you have new stats. So which is git commit date, commit time ago, git message, git committer, and also if I do something like want to compute a checksum, then it's done also in parallel, so it's a bit faster. So, as you can see, now I've selected 3 files, and now I can see the checksum and also when it was committed for the last time. And this corresponds to the months and 1 week, so 7 months 1 week or 6 months, and then what was the commit message and who was the committer of this file. So faster. Now you also have a new action to take a screenshot only. So before you had the option to take a screenshot of the entire panel, so including everything, or then the panel which would also include the toolbar and status bar. So now you have a new option to capture only the interesting part that you see. You have also a new action. So if I press F9 and I go for checksum, I can also now create checksum files. So it will create a checksum based on the one that I decided with this define extension. So instead of showing it, it will just create the file with the checksum. Then we have different fixes. So error when creating a file from clipboard. Default file name also was not the best one that was provided. Replace panel action was also a possible error. Detection of the focus panels. So the focus panel, as you can see, is this one. It was sometimes incorrect, so especially when you see here, I can select this one, then this one is still the selected panel, but if I want to remove this one, then it would not detect it. So now it's for the replace panel or for the remove panel, it's the last focus component and not per se the focus panel for the files. When you were using compress and zip, it was forgetting to also include the empty directory, so also another fix. Execute action on answer key in the text field in pack. So for example, if I do pack compress zip, so now if I just need to hit enter, and then it will be the same thing as clicking OK. So it's more better shortcuts for simple actions like create also a directory and so on. And improve the reload of the panel after file operation. So when you do a copy, it will be better at reloading, detecting which panel should be reloading. So now in the file chooser, if you go to network, it will show actually it was forgetting the HTTP and WebDAV. So now it's basically because it's a new protocol, the same protocol but a new library. So that's showing HTTP4 and WebDAV4 if we want to use it. Yeah, the problem when executable has no icons. That's a bug in Java, but I have a workaround for it. The action to go to selection, so if I go there, you can do and then select in directory. It has the problem that you could also execute it here where no file was selected, so this is also fixed. Better handling of files with open brackets, open square bracket character, fix files and directory for change. So also same thing with reloading, better detection for when is it needed, when not. So when else file excellently, ask if you want to always reload it or not. So let's imagine I open this file and then I'm editing in some other editor, then it will ask me, hey, do you want to reload the file next time I click on this file on this panel? And now you also have the option to say yes, always reload or never reload. So you're not asked every time you change it again and focus again on the same panel. And the search for as directory or as file then is also improved because of some problem with it. So this is some of the bug fix, and they are also been put in the open source project Commons VFS. So I have my own branch with some of the bug fix that you've seen. That also provide back also to the original Apache project. Improve loading of the IntelliJ themes, so that's something you'll see on my Twitter, that there's a lot of, now it's way easier to, if you go there, and you select flat IntelliJ, now you have also a way easier way to upload, so not only JSON, but you can also have a zip file, a jar file, and it will take everything. So if I use docutem with a zip, then it will unzip the file, detects okay, what are the different themes that I have, and then I can choose one and apply it, and it will also change. So it's way easier than having to unzip the file yourself and compress the theme. Then also with the theme, most of the time you are also syntax allied for the editor. So as you can see, it also takes the colors that are defined most of the time also in the theme. So it's way improved over there. You used to have mnemonic for the toolbar here, and it was, for example, a problem when you wanted to access the menu. So now this is also fixed. Okay, let me go back to flat dark instead of purple. So now you can say if I do Alt F, I will access the file and not the menu problem anymore. And also show the plugin names, small fixes, and do not show breadcrumbs when there's no breadcrumb. Do not show also the icons because you don't need to navigate for some panels, and value bug fix and small improvement also in the application framework. So that was for version 4.11 that was released last month, and now let's go to the new version, which is version 4.12, which is just been released in July 2024. And let's go with directory table. So clicking in an empty space was not focusing, so when you were clicking, so here you see I only have a few files, so if I were clicking here in the empty space below the table, it would not have focused the panel. So you really needed to first to click in the table. So now you see I can also click in the empty spaces, and actually same thing, now you can also click in the toolbar and it will work, or in the status bar it will also. So if I go back here, it will also work and switch to the correct one. And also if I switch tabs, it used not to work because this one is not selectable, but now I'm selecting the further which is selectable. So this is a bug fix. Support for search subdirectories and use filters. So if I go in a image thumbnails one, let's replace this one. Replace panel thumbnails. Thumbnails. Do you have any thumbnails? Yeah. So here's the thumbnails panel. So now you can also search subdirectories. So I can do also something like this, and it will show me other files in there. And then when I go here, you see the tooltip also shows a flat slash screenshot, so I know in which subdirectory it is. And also the speed of loading has been improved. Sometimes it was loading it twice for no specific reason. So as I said, shows the relative name in the tooltip, and basically do not clear the cache if I'm just basically doing a reload of the same directory. Let's go back to directory panel in this case. Okay, then the check spell, let me used to do some yeah, here check spell basically was not finding all the time the file to check the English language, so this has also been fixed. Applet runner, yes, so this one is let's replace this directory. Yes, so let's go once another panel called applet runner. So yeah, of course this one, but the bookmark now should work again. So if I go there, let me see, yeah, you see that now I can also run applets inside on Commander Pro. Okay, let's, and it used to be that the bookmark had a problem, so this is fixed. And also the stop, I think, had a problem in the previous version, and it was sometimes stopping the incorrect applet, so this one has been fixed. Or sometimes it was also starting twice the applet, also another bug fix. And replace it to directory panel again. Let's put it to this one. Yes, so you have an action that says show clipboard. So for example, if I copy content, so should copy the content to the clipboard, I guess. So if I do show clipboard, yeah, now you see the show clipboard actions that was showing the copy content, and sometimes it was invalid type, so this is fixed. And that was the same problem when we were creating a new file from the clipboard. When it was an image, it sometimes was failing to invalid image type. And also if it was invalid, now I was showing now a correct error message. Also something that I've done is sometimes here you had a white title bar, and then you would have a white icon, so you would miss seeing the icon because it was just white on white. So now this is more light gray if it's in that dark theme, so it can be still visible. So we now avoid white icons on white background. So fix replace not focusable panels sometimes was not working. So like I say, if I wanted to replace this panel because this panel is not let me check. You see this panel is not focusable, this one is. So if I wanted to do replace panel, it was replacing this one and not this one. So this has also been fixed. Improve the detection of the template directory, disable actions when file change is not supported by the file system. So if I would go here and say change date time or change file time and to creation time, it would here I'm on the local file, so I can do it, but some file system doesn't support it, so there's no need to show these actions because basically they will just result in error. And now if you use go to some, for example, invalid IP address, it will just show a correct error. Let's say cannot connect to this address, for example. Yeah, so on macOS I was caching a bit too hard the directories icons, so now it's in specific case I don't cache anymore the icons all the time. Linux, and especially if you're using Ubuntu Linux, which is a major Linux distribution, it will also try to locate the icons for the different files and show better icons than the default one. Fix possible error when creating HTTP or WebDAV relative files, so there was an error for this, and basically the same one that was for the applet that we saw that was fixed. So now HTTPS also works for locating files. And also when you're replacing a file, sometimes it was also showing you, so if the file exists, you have the option to replace, to ignore, or to rename, and the auto rename tool was sometimes not increasing the number of one. This one has been fixed. So now what we have is in the rename, a few things have changed. So if I go to rename, multiple rename, I can also include the directory name of the path. So if I say I want to replace, let's say lock with directory name of, let's say 1. So 1 is, you see, is the source. So now let's replace lock with source. But I can also say -1, for example. -1 is virtually because this file is located in the -1. So the parent is dir name, -1 is virtually. So if I just do dir name, then you see it's a sync package, so sync directory, and sync -1 would be virtually, and I can also do -2 to go back on to navigate basically the directory. So now it's easier to replace. And also you can also now create subdirectories. So if I want to replace lock with let's say target /lock, so now you see it will also, let me put it more full screen so it's easier to see because it's a long file. So now it will also create a subdirectory with whatever I replace with this. And it also now also works with regular expression. So let's say I want to replace anything with targets, and well, you have the ideas that you can create. And also same thing if you put it in the, for example, sync / I can also now replace with, for example, target /. So you see now it will also do with subdirectories if you include the /, and it will, instead of matching on the file name, it will match on the whole the path. So let's go back, and here let's close this. So a lot of improvement in the multi-rename tools. So as I said, it's also working now with regular expression for the dir name, but not only dir name, you have also some special to include the date, for example, and that's also working with regular expression in the replace, and possibility to create subdirectories. So if you can replace, for example, invoice with folder /invoice, and also possibility to include subdirectories. So you can replace now, let's say, folder /invoice into invoice. So same thing if you copy or move a file to a file system that does not support changing the file date of time, then I do not try to change the date of time of the file after copying or moving the file. Other things, this one I've already mentioned, so clicking here will focus, also will work. Changing time will also focus on the correct one. Some build optimization, like no need to include some files that were not used, and as always, various small improvement and bug fixing in the application framework. And that was it for version 4.11 and 4.12. As you can see, a lot of things done in 2 months, so I would advise you to download it at ontcommander.com. And if you want to use, like now I've said, I have better support for the IntelliJ themes, you can go to the plugin.jetbrains.com. There you can find hundreds of different themes that you can also apply to on Commander Pro. And also on Commander, so this one is a paying, but you also have /personals. This one is freeware, so you can also use it there, and you can also use the themes there. And of course, you're missing all the more professional feature of this file manager, like things for file developers, more file system, more panels, and basically everything that you can see here. A lot of actions, a lot of new panels, and so on. But this one is free for everybody, and the other one is only free, like for a day or for students or a few people. Okay, thank you for watching, and see you at the next release. Bye.